Okay, so let's record something. The first thing you're always going to want to do when you go to record something is you have to set up your input, set up your microphone, or whatever it is you're recording from. In this case, it's probably going to be a microphone. So Audacity has a few options to help you decide, what you're recording and how you record it. So the first thing I want to point out is this box here. This is called your audio host. There's a little drop down here, and you might have a few different options. I'm not going to talk too much about this because this is more of an IT thing. I don't fully understand how these hosts work. These are basically interfaces that help software and devices talk to each other. You've got a few different options. I would just go with whatever the default is. Mine defaults to this MME. I don't want to go through all of them because every time you change the host, it will change some of these other options. And I don't want to go through 500 options. So we're just going to go with MME. I think it's the oldest one and most compatible. Just know that it's here, and if you want to play around, you can try some of these other options. If you're at the end of your rope, if you can't get stuff to work, if the stuff I'm showing you isn't working, or you don't have the right options, or you're recording and stuff just sounds weird, try a different host and try setting it up again and see if that fixes it. Okay, so next to our host, we see this little picture of a microphone. So this is our input selector, and it also has a drop down. Now your inputs are going to look a little different than mine depending on what you have hooked up. Every machine's going to be a little different depending on, your sound card and what kind of speakers you have, or that sort of thing. But you probably have a lot of these similar things. This Microsoft Sound Mapper, I have never entirely figured out what exactly it is, what it does. I have a USB microphone, so that's why this is showing up. This Focusrite USB, that's my USB interface. But you probably have something that says this mic at front, or this microphone, Realtek microphone, depending on your machine. So this one here is the built-in webcam microphone. This one here is the input jack that I can plug a microphone into. Your computer probably somewhere has it. This one is actually on mine, part of the headphone jack. So I actually have just like a cheap little video game headset microphone that plugs into the headphone jack, and it also has a microphone input, all as part of the same thing. This one is, as I said, the built-in microphone with the webcam. So know the difference, figure out which one is which on your machine, because you're not going to want to use this one. You're not going to want to use the built-in microphone. You're going to want to have some other type of microphone. I mean, if push comes to shove, you can use the webcam microphone, but you're going to get really bad sound. Like I said, I have this little headset microphone plugged into this mic in at front panel. Okay, so that's what I'm going to end up using. All right, so just want to find your microphone, figure out which one is the right one for your mic. Okay, next to that is this drop down. It says recording channels. So you probably only have two options. One is mono, two is stereo. If all you're recording is just a voice, you could change it to mono and just record one channel. Depending on the device you're using, if you've got it in stereo, it might record to both channels anyway. Then last with this, we have this picture of the speaker. So this is the output. So this will be what you're hearing when you play back from Audacity. This will be where it comes out. Now, same thing, it's going to have a drop-down menu, and you're going to have different options depending on your machine. As you can see, I also have this Microsoft Sound Mapper output, which is probably some sort of sound card thing that I don't understand. I have my USB interface, and then I have my speakers. My laptop has speakers that are made by a company called Realtek, so that's what's popping up here for my speakers. Yours might say something different, but it probably says speakers. This is just the output. So This is the input. This is the output. All right, this one's more important than the output. This is just what you're going to be listening to. Okay, so once you figure out which input you're using, I've got my headset mic, and you plug your mic, and you've got your mic plugged in. The next thing you want to do is set your levels. So if we come up here, we see another picture of a microphone here, and these boxes, these are your meters, and you can see it says click to start monitoring. If I click that, 1, 2, 3, all right, now you see my little meters bouncing up and down. Okay, so that's good. That means sound is coming in. So this allows me to see the level that's coming into the program. And if I need to adjust it, I can adjust it down here. So again, here's the picture of the microphone. We have this little slider. There's a minus and a plus. So if it's too loud and you need to lower it, you can bring it down. And as you can see, as I lower it, the little bars practically disappear, the little green bars. If I bring it up, they get a little louder. And if I bring it all the way up, they get a lot louder. Most of the time, you're probably going to need to have this all the way up or almost all the way up, depending on your microphone. Okay. Now, if we look as I'm talking, when you look at these meters, generally what you want, you can see it's green and then it starts to go yellow and then eventually it hits red. You want it generally bouncing in the yellow. If it occasionally turns red, that's fine. If it's red all the time, then it's too loud. You want to bring it down. But you usually want to see at least a little bit of yellow. If you're getting levels somewhere between this -18 and -6, then you're probably in pretty good shape. Anywhere from -18 to this 0, somewhere in here is a good level. If it's down here, then you want to turn it up. You want to adjust this up. If, like I said, here, let me go. If you're getting red, constant red like that, then what you want to do, then that means it's too loud and it's going to be distorted. And so you want to bring it down a little bit. Okay. And then you can just keep adjusting, up, down a little bit at a time till you find a good spot. Right. So 1, 2, 3. All right. So that looks pretty good. Something like that. All right. Now here's an important thing though, with these levels. When you're setting your levels, there's two things to concern yourself with. There is this, the level, your input level. The other thing, which is probably most important, is the position of your microphone. Okay, you want to make sure your mic is in a good spot. You don't want your mic way far away from you, or you're going to have bad levels. So if you come in and you check your levels, and you've got it all cranked all the way up, and you're still kind of down here, right? Right now my levels are sitting at, like -30. That's too low, but I can't turn this up anymore. Well, the reason for that, I can tell you right now. So what I did was I moved my microphone. The headset microphone is bent. I have it away from my mouth. So right now it's probably about 6 inches from my mouth. So that's why this level is so low, and I can't turn this up anymore. Okay, the thing to do is put the mic in a good spot. Now, if I move the mic, I'm going to bring it closer, and I'm going to put it about 2 inches from my mouth. And now you can see my levels look good. That's really important. And that's also why you don't want to use this microphone, this built-in microphone, because like I said, that microphone is the one that's built into your laptop. And so it's built into your device. If it's on a laptop, it's attached to the screen. One, it's a bad microphone, and two, it is probably a good foot away from your mouth, and so you're just not going to get a good level. It's going to pick up as much noise in the room as it is going to pick up your voice. That's why we don't want to use that built-in microphone, and that's another reason why a headset mic is a good choice, because when you have a headset mic, it's attached to your head. So when you turn your head, your levels don't change. The mic pretty much stays a constant distance from your mouth. Okay, so we chose our input. We got our mic chosen. We've set our levels down here, okay, and we're looking at it on the meters here, and the meters look good. Let's do a test. You should pretty much always do a test when you get set up. Before you get started, do a quick little record and then listen to it back and make sure everything sounds good. What you don't want to do is just look at these meters and go, oh yeah, everything's fine. And then, you start your interview or whatever, you record for an hour, and then your guest leaves and you go back and you listen to it and something sounds all weird. Something's distorted, or there's weird noise or something going on. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is always do a test. So for Audacity, here's your controls. They're just very basic controls, right? You've probably seen these on many of your devices. Pause, play, stop, rewind, fast forward, and the big red button is record. Now let's hit record and do a test. 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2. This is me doing a test of my headset microphone. And I will stop it. And we can listen to it back and see how it sounds. 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2. This is me doing a test of my headset microphone. Okay, so for the most part, it sounds pretty good. There's a little bit of breathiness happening there, and that's mostly because if you have a headset mic and it has a little windscreen, that's it's that little foam spongy thing that usually sits over the microphone. If you have one of those, use it. I lost mine. That's why you can kind of hear me when I exhale. That's the sound of my breath hitting the microphone, and that little spongy thing will help block that. So if you have it, use it. Now, what I want to show you, I'm going to switch this over to this other microphone. So this is the microphone that's built into my laptop. Now, this is why it's important to do a test and then actually listen to it. So if I come up here and I click on turn my metering back on, and I sit here and I go, oh, 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm looking up here. I see my levels look good. Okay, and now I'm gonna hit record again. And I go 1, 2, 3. This is a test. This is a test of my microphone, but this is actually the laptop microphone that's built in. Okay, and I hit stop. Now, when I saw my levels up here on the meters, they were looking good. And when I come down here and I look at the waveform on the timeline, it looks good. I got some nice big fat bumps. In fact, if I look at it side by side with my first recording, this one actually looks better than this one. We have these nice big fat juicy waveforms, and these are a little smaller. So if I'm just going by my eye and not my ear, I might think that this is the better recording than this. But let's go back and let's listen to both of them side by side. 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2. This is me doing a test of my headset microphone. And I go 1, 2, 3. This is a test. This is a test of my microphone, but this is actually the laptop microphone that's built in. Okay, so did you hear the drastic difference in those two recordings? So, one, that laptop microphone is just not a good microphone, so it doesn't do a great job recording. And then the other factor is that this microphone, the headset microphone, is sitting probably about 2 inches from my mouth. This microphone from my laptop is a good foot and a half away from my mouth when I talk. So that's part of the reason why this looks louder than this. This microphone's picking up all kinds of background noise that this microphone is not picking up. And this has the sound of my voice bouncing off the walls before it gets to my microphone. So it actually looks louder and it looks better, but it sounds much, much worse. So again, you always want to do a test record and you want to listen to it back and see how it sounds before you really get rolling. Okay, so now we are ready to roll. I'm going to just delete all this stuff and we will start from scratch and we will move on.